We would like to thank the official sponsors of 30 years of Channel 31, Verducci Lawyers, Pipeworks Market, Carter's Roofing, MJ Disability Permit Holders, and Suzuki Marine.
This event is so exciting because my show is called Foreign Influence and I'm Elena Reddy, and my show is about interviewing people who have stories of success, very unique stories, and people from multicultural communities. And I love Channel 31 because they're so inclusive of everyone in our Australian community.
My name is Ren Gillette, and I was lucky enough to be a part of a show called The Struggle on Channel 31. And last year was able to come along to the Antenna Awards, and we won a few awards, which was amazing. But yeah, Channel 31 is an incredible platform for, like myself and my friends as young people. We were just at uni, marking around, having fun, and we were able to create a show that Channel 31 allowed us to, put out into the world, gave us a platform as young people, which is, incredible, and something that not a lot of other places sort of give young people the opportunity to do, be imperfect on screen.
Channel 31's great because, anyone can have a go at making TV, and that's what I did. I'd never made TV before. I moved to Melbourne from Adelaide and volunteered with RMI TV, and then I got the chance to make my own quiz show. From that, I became a writer on Sean McAuliffe's Mad as Hell, which was sort of my dream job, and Sean was a guest on 31 Questions when the show was on, so it all sort of helped me a lot. And so I exploited it for my own benefit. But
my name is Annie Louie, and it's an honour to be your host this evening. Firstly, Channel 31 has asked me to speak on their behalf, beginning by acknowledging that they operate on the traditional lands of the Wurundjeri Woi-wurrung people. Today we are gathered in Wurundjeri country. They also wish to acknowledge the First Nations people and traditional landowners across the country where community television is produced and broadcast. C31 pays their respects to their elders past and present and extend that to all First Nation people with us tonight. Sovereignty has never been ceded. C31 recognises and celebrates the First Nations people throughout this country and are committed to a process that achieves voice, treaty and truth. C31 is committed to ensuring community television plays its part in reconciliation. So thank you for joining me for such an exciting event tonight. As I mentioned, my name is Annie, I'm a comedian, and I'm here as your host tonight because C31 couldn't afford Sampang. Speaking of tight budgets, I initially assumed that the venue we're in, which is called Cathedral Hall, was actually a church. But I thought, wow, C31 must have resorted to praying for divine intervention to keep the station on air. How beautiful. But apart from thoughts and prayers, it's thanks to hundreds, if not thousands of people, some of whom are in the room tonight, that the station has been able to reach this incredible 30-year milestone. But with such a long history, we hope you understand that we won't be able to mention absolutely everyone who has contributed to making C31 what it is today. But we thank you sincerely for all of your contributions, so please give a round of applause to everyone who's been involved so far. Since I'm 31 years old, I'm practically the same age as the station itself. So if Channel 31 was a baby, you're looking at the full-grown product. That means that I can't wait to host C31's 50th anniversary, where we can celebrate our midlife crises together. It was through C31 that I was able to find my way through television, and by being given the opportunity to feature on various programs involving comedy and travel, I was able to level up from there. After that, I guess you could say things peaked for me last year when ABC released an Australian Story episode, about my life. And where are you supposed to go after that? Well, I packed my bags and moved countries. Earlier this year, I made the leap to pursue international opportunities by heading to Asia. That's when I found out that in Australia, I'm known as Annie Louie, and internationally, I'm known as who? Not to be confused with fellow comedian Lizzie who hosted last year's Antenna Awards, although it is entirely possible that the station tried to book Lizzie again but got confused. We'll never know. So let's kick on with the formal proceedings for tonight. The first person I'm going to introduce to the stage has been the chair of Channel 31 Melbourne since 2009. He's representing the current board of the Melbourne Community Television Consortium, otherwise known as C31 tonight, and he made sure that he wants everyone to know that he was mayor of Fitzroy back in the early 90s, and this very venue you're in was part of his territory. So please give a big round of applause to C31 chair Mike Zariopoulos.
Good evening, everyone. On behalf of the MCTC board, welcome to this incredible night celebrating 30 years of Channel 31. Incidentally, this year we're also celebrating another very important milestone, 50 years of community broadcasting. It was amongst the gifts the Whitlam government has left us with. Channel 31 has always been a platform for diverse voices, including Aboriginal and Torres Strait Islander people. In that same spirit, we also recognise the rich intersection of cultures, identities, and abilities in this room tonight and throughout the station's history. Our station exists because of you, and we are proud to continue amplifying these voices in a space that celebrates diversity and inclusion. Special thanks to our staff, both past and present, whose dedication has been the backbone of this station. Channel 31 would not exist without you. And who could forget the creators, the storytellers, producers and program makers who have brought over 160,000 episodes of community television to life since the mid-90s. 160,000. Looking to the future, Channel 31 may have started small, but we've been the launchpad for some of Australia's biggest talent. As Rove McManus, discussing last night on Channel 10's project, the commencement of his career on Channel 31, and acknowledging that Channel 31 is a great breeding ground for people like him. What an amazing acknowledgement and recognition. But we're still here for the underrepresented voices. We continue to champion those who don't get mainstream airtime, and we're not stopping anytime soon. Our vision is to be a place where all voices are heard, on screen, online, and as far as we can reach. Our journey hasn't been without challenges. We fought for our survival more times than we'd like to count, but here we are. So, as we move forward, we may be small, but we're strong and resilient. Channel 31 is ready to embrace the future while staying true to the community spirit that brought us here. While some of us may step back, the vision we've nurtured together remains. To the communities we represent and to tonight's future ahead.
Hello, I'm Michelle Rowland, the Minister for Communications. This week, Channel 31 celebrates 30 years of community broadcasting. For 3 decades, you've educated, entertained and informed local audiences in Melbourne and Geelong. Impressively, your content is produced by the many hard-working volunteers and independent program makers. You provide an important platform for the next generation of industry talent. And thank you for sharing the voices and stories not necessarily captured in the commercial media. Channel 31 is an important part of Australia's vibrant community broadcasting sector, and the Albanese government has got your back. Just one way that we've ensured community broadcasting can continue is by passing legislation this year to ensure that you can keep broadcasting into the foreseeable future. On behalf of our government and the audiences that you serve, thank you to all the staff and volunteers at Channel 31, and congratulations on such a significant milestone.
He's the Parliamentary Secretary to Premier Jacinta Allen and also the Parliamentary Secretary for Multicultural Affairs. Tonight, he represents the Victorian Allen Government. Please welcome to the stage Mr Nick Stakos, MP.
But I wish to acknowledge the traditional owners of the land upon which we gather and pay my respects to elders past and present and Aboriginal elders of other communities who may be here this evening. It really is special to be here because I remember when Channel 31 started way back in 1994. I was 8 years old and I am of Greek heritage, and I remember the first broadcast, and I remember actually thinking as an 8-year-old that Channel 31 was a Greek television station, because I could see so much of my own family and my own community on Channel 31. And of course it wasn't a Greek television station, but it's just a testament to how inclusive Channel 31 has been over all of those 30 years that as a child that is what I believed. And it is important in a multicultural state like ours, indeed probably the greatest multicultural city on earth, that our diverse communities, not just ethnic communities, but also sexually diverse communities and disability communities, that we all see ourselves represented. And no other station does that like Channel 31. And I was interested to read that 11 of the 20 top rating programs on Channel 31 concern outdoor recreation. In fact, my mum was at home turning to Channel 31 thinking she'd see her son speaking on a live broadcast, but it is Talking Fishing tonight, I believe, which Dan Andrews has been on in the past. So that is another thing. You turn on the commercial stations, it'll be Married at First Sight or some rubbish like that. But obviously here we have true quality content. But it is what makes you different. It is that you represent different interests, you represent different people. And Melbourne, of course, is the greatest multicultural city on earth. And when we think about the fact that in Sydney, in Brisbane, in Perth, all of the community television stations sadly have met their end. But here in Melbourne, Channel 31 is still strong. And it is strong because of our diversity. Our diversity is our greatest strength. So I'd like to congratulate Channel 31 on 30 years. It is an amazing achievement, particularly in this changing media landscape. So congratulations on 30 years. Looking forward to the next 30. Thanks very much.
Thank you, Mr Nick Stakos. Next up, we have another MP who was first elected to the Legislative Council in 1996, hopefully I've got that correct, and currently represents the Southern Metropolitan Region. Please welcome the current Victorian Shadow Minister for the Arts, Mr. David Davis, MP.
Thank you, and I want to begin by saying how honoured I am to be here tonight. I have to say, Mike Zafiropoulos, our great board chair, and the other board members, thank you for what you do. Thank you, importantly though, to all the volunteers at this great community television station. Thank you to the volunteers who do so much, whether they are on-air presenters, whether they are behind the scenes in production, whether they are the technical people, all of those make this station what it is. And we are very fortunate. We are very fortunate. As Shadow Minister for Arts and Creative Industries, I see the incredible group of people who come through this television station to make a huge mark. And Rove is, I guess, the emblem for that, and he's here tonight, and thank you for his presence and his strong support. And this is a Melbourne institution. This is so much a Melbourne institution. It picks up the diversity of the city. So I was pleased moving around before to talk to people who are broadcasting church services from St Patrick's each week, people who are broadcasting football, multicultural football, Bent TV. It doesn't matter, it doesn't matter what group in the community. This television station, Channel 31, has picked it up and given it a voice. So that is an incredibly important thing. We've got our commercial networks, we've got our public broadcasters, but this station is Melbourne to its bootstraps. And 30 years in, I was very proud to be a person who wrote and fought to see the digital steps that were required occur. But 30 years in, we can be very proud of what has been achieved, and the next 30 years is going to be great. Thank you.
In the lead up to tonight, we put a call out for old footage of C31 broadcasts, and we received an absolute gem. It's the first of many clips we'll show you tonight, but this is an edited selection of the first ever 9 minutes of the very first broadcast on the 6th of October in 1994. You'll see an appearance from the original General Manager, Peter Lane, and comedian actor Jane Turner of Kath and Kim fame. So see if you can spot it.
Well, on a brighter note, commercial break.
The government has now banned the carrying of spears. Stop about every 1,000 miles ain't asking too much, is it? You might wish to stay on and listen.
Welcome to the official launch of Melbourne Community Television, Channel 31.
I suppose the question a lot of people say is, why more television? Well, in our case, we don't want to criticise existing television. Lots of other people can do that for us. We believe that this television will be very different, provide people an opportunity to be involved in the process. The primary aim of Melbourne Community Television, MCT 31, is to give access to the television medium to those who are currently denied it. The secondary aim is to give training in the television medium to those who are currently denied it. I suppose there's a number of primary differences between MCT 31 and other commercial and national telecasters, and they are the fact that the audience are the producers. Channel 31 is accessible to members of the public to have their views broadcast. MCT 31 is a local station by and for the people of Melbourne. We're looking at providing real programs, giving information and entertainment relevant to people's daily lives, rather than giving information and entertainment that comes out of somebody's imagination and is either fantastic or sensational. It's been a very big job to get to this stage. It's been over 16 years in Melbourne that people have been pushing for community television. It's been all volunteer until the last month. And convincing the federal government to give licences to all volunteer organisations has not been easy.
I think as an actor and for actors, it's going to be fantastic because we have such a hard time getting gigs and getting jobs. So it is going to provide so much more chance to train and to experiment, create, produce, get jobs that you'd never get before, and help you in a professional career as well. Having worked on commercial television for 5 or 6 years, I know that it can sometimes be absolutely death to creativity when they're chasing the ratings and the dollars. But I'm really thrilled about being involved, and I hope I'll get a gig maybe on harness racing. I've got my jockey cap and my little buggy all set up, and I got the voice, so I think I'll be happy to be a jockey. So thanks.
I'd like to take the opportunity to thank you all for coming and to officially announce the opening of Channel 31 in Melbourne, MCT 31.
Got the idea? American choice.
Well, that's all from me. I hope you'll tune in tonight. I hope you'll continue to tune in, and I hope you enjoy tonight's viewing. Good night.
It's not all from Peter Lane because he is in the room and we are going to welcome him up now to say a few words. So please give a big round of applause for Peter Lane.
Hello everybody. It's great to see this room full of people, all of whom are working together rather than against each other. The current world needs places like Channel 31 where communities cooperate. That's the main thing we do. I'm going to be brief. Why did we start community TV? Well, Mike's already said some stuff and we said it back then. There was no affordable video on the internet back then, and even having decent high-speed internet was almost impossible for most people. The mainstream media was all terrestrial broadcast, with no local community involvement. We did have SBS, which was great for ethnic communities, but didn't have local communities. What we wanted to do was give access to television to small communities to be able to communicate with their own people in their own way. The other thing we did, which was major, was provide somewhere people could learn television without having to have your uncle work for Channel 9 or something, which is the old days, and also give access to young people from other communities, as SBS did, because back in the day, virtually every face and voice on television was white and predominantly male. That's changed a lot. There was a lot of independent filmmakers around, and there was video access centres. Open Channel in Melbourne was one of them, which only recently closed its doors. Metro TV in Sydney was one. There was one in Perth, one in Adelaide, and they had the idea for community television early on. Because those centres had it, they were sort of a breeding ground for the 5 little groups that started Channel 31 in '94, which was RMI TV, St Kilda Access Television, Northern Access Television, and Richmond Access Television, and TVU. They were all regional groups except for RMI TV. All the filmmakers, independent filmmakers, even a lot of people involved in those video access centres said, it's never going to happen. You can't do it. Well, we did do it. And we did it because of communities working together, again, which is a critical thing, and we can be an example to the rest of the world to don't stop doing that. There's divisiveness happening. We aren't divisive here in Channel 31. We're inclusive. Let's keep that going. Congratulations to everybody here. Congratulations for being involved in such a wonderful concept and still working on it for those who do. And congratulations on your strength and your belief in community. and persevere. Just persevere. Thanks.
Next up, we have 3 people presenting, and the first person was last year's Best Personality at the Antenna Awards. She was a former host of Monash University's The Struggle and a current host on ABC's Behind the News. We have Ren Gillett. Joining her is someone who hosted the 2014 Antenna Awards and got her start on community TV on RMI TV's Studio A. We welcome Tegan Higginbotham. And our third and final presenter, the Federal Minister for Jagga Jagga, a former C31 alumni, now a part of the Albanese government. She was a vocal supporter of the CTV bill that was passed earlier this year that helps secure a more permanent future for community TV in Australia. Please welcome Kate Thwaites.
Gosh, it's beautiful to just see the legacy that we're a part of.
I know.
You know, just sort of doing what we do on Channel 31, you know, you operate in a bit of a microcosm, but seeing all of this, it's like, wow, we're a part of something so special, and it feels, truly incredible.
Well, you've just started on Behind the News, and that, you know, was connected to Channel 31. How did all of that come together?
We would stay at uni till like 1 a.m, scripting, you know, journalism and issues that are really important to young people, but also, you know, making it a bit silly. And experimenting. And basically, I feel like, you know, programs like this, they don't necessarily always have the opportunity to leave the grounds of university. And it's such a privilege to actually have a program that we created, which, you know, is a bit silly, is a bit experimental, and have it broadcast on TV, which, you know, being in university, gosh, that's, you know, it's such an incredible opportunity. And so, you know, every week for two of my university years, which just ended last year, we would be, putting together a show, and each week that would go to air on Channel 31. And what a privilege that is to experiment, to be able to be imperfect on TV, because there aren't many opportunities where, especially young people, you know, we can do that. And after the awards last year, was lucky enough to get a call and now work at BTN, which is just the most incredible thing. So yes, Channel 31, incredible, opening doors and creating a space for young people to be themselves. So yes, thank you, Channel 31. And Channel 31 has been an incredible part of your career as well. Tell us about it.
We rehearsed this. I've also realised I've come up with a piece of paper as if it's going to help. It just says our names. It's not very handy at all. But no, Channel 31 was. I mean, it was so helpful. I'm sure that so many creatives in the room understand this feeling when you're young and you're just starting out and you know what you want to be and what you hope that you can be, and you're just waiting for that somebody to give you that opportunity to prove it. And for me, that somebody was Channel 31 as well. And I started off on a program called Studio A. I was with a group of people, Tommy Little, for example. Unfortunately, nothing happened with his career. It's so sad. Luke McGregor, you've probably never heard of him. Nick Cody, whatever. His breakfast show's #1. That is actually the Fox. I produce Triple M Breakfast, everybody, Triple M, not Fox. Triple M Breakfast, in case you're wondering. But it's incredible that there is somebody out there who can, as you said, give people an opportunity to get in front of the camera, to learn, to make mistakes, and, you know, build a career where we can survive and thrive in Melbourne, in Victoria, and I'm so proud to be one of the people who are doing that. It's an incredible honour. And although you're not working in television necessarily, Kate, you also had an incredible start at Channel 31.
I did, and yes, my alumni experience was a fair bit earlier than these two lovely ladies. Way back in the late 90s, early 2000s, I was a journalism student at RMIT and part of the Newsline crew. When we were recently in federal parliament debating the legislation from our government to secure Channel 31's future, I went looking for my old stories that I produced back in the day. I found them on a VHS tape. I do not have a VHS player, although Shane tells me that there is one here at Channel 31, so I may bring them in and check out my old work. But even back then, really, the heart of Channel 31 was community, and the stories we were producing from RMIT were about the community and the types of stories that you didn't see on mainstream media. And I feel like for me, that sense of community came full circle recently when we were putting this legislation through Parliament. And I heard from members of the community I represent what Channel 31 means to them, how it does provide them with those connections culturally to the groups that they identify with. And so it's been really special to have that full circle journey from being someone putting together part of Channel 31's program to being able to fight for it in the federal Parliament.
And how lucky we are to have you fighting. Thank you.
Thank you. Well, look, I think the final point I'd make is alumni-wise, it's clear that Channel 31's still pumping out great alumni with both of these wonderful women. So let's wrap it up there.
Yeah!
Give it up for these three amazing women. You can tell they were once at Channel 31 because they all have amazing voices. I want to listen to this podcast. Can you make it happen, please? Okay, so next up, we have someone else who has been instrumental in the Australian TV industry. He's also a comedian, an actor, radio presenter, and writer who was a regular on early RMI TV shows, including Under Melbourne Tonight, and of course, The Loft Live with Rove McManus. Adam is going to be inducting tonight's first CTV Hall of Fame inductee, and he has the most distinctive and joyful laugh on Australian TV and radio, in my opinion. He's already giggling his way up here, so please give it up for Adam Richard.
Oh my God, thank you so much, Annie. Huge round of applause. Hello, chickens. How's it going? Some of you might know me from very prestigious commercial television productions like Celebrity Splash or Celebrity Dog School, where I was not a celebrity and did not own a dog. And I also was on that series of Spicks and Specks that the ABC refuses to repeat. But before that, I did a lot of work at Channel 31. And what I love about working in television is seeing people that I started out with. Like, you'll see lighting directors, you'll see people behind the camera. Someone will be sticking a microphone up your shirt, and it's not appropriate to say anything to them at that point anymore. And you know, so it's lovely to see all those people out there. I did used to be part of Bent TV for a very long time. I appeared on Squeal, which was a panel show, which was amazing to have queer voices on television. Someone stupidly once appointed me president of Bent TV. I don't. It was when Eddie Maguire was in charge of Channel 9. I think people thought if you were on TV, you knew what you were doing. We don't. But my big entree into being on television was being asked to be a regular guest every week as Ask Auntie Adam on The Loft Live from the RMI TV studios. I used to do fake live crosses, which people got angry about because they're like, as if they've got the equipment to do that at Channel 31. So yes, I was very, very honoured and excited to be asked tonight to induct into the CTV Hall of Fame, a CTV legend. Please welcome my very good friend, the delightful, the delicious Rove McManus! Keep going. It's a proper celebrity. You get up there!
Thank you very much for this. Oh my gosh, that's terrifying. This means a lot. Honestly, thank you so very much for this huge honour. This is a privilege to me. Whenever I get asked about my career, I'm always certain to make sure that I mention that the stepping stone for all of this to kick off was with Channel 31. Without C31, I would not be doing what I'm doing today, and I'm so appreciative for the start I got. It means the world. Because it all happened, I was doing a stand-up spot in a comedy club. I got spotted by a producer who said, we're making a show, and before I knew it, I'm hosting The Loft Live for 31 in 1996. My God. And that's when I found my passion. That's when I found what I wanted to do. I'd been doing comedy. I knew I wanted to perform. I was enamored by the genre of television, but I hadn't found my lane. I didn't know what it was until I was sitting behind a desk that I think someone just picked up off the nature strip on Hard Rubbish Day, sitting on second-hand furniture with a set that was constructed from other television shows, offcuts that had been taken out of the network skips, being filmed on equipment that was already archaic back then, in the hands of volunteers who had never seen a television camera before, as we tried to do a live television show once a week. And if that doesn't scream Channel 31, then dear God, I don't know what does. And it was the best. And that's when I discovered this is what I want to do. And I knew that this was the place to do it. And there were times when it taught me everything I needed to know for the future. This is what's so great about 31. It's the breeding ground. It's the fact that if anything's going to go wrong, it's going to go wrong on Channel 31. How the fish tank never leaked, I don't know. We had on our very first show, our very first guest did not show up. I am too professional and mature now to tell you that person's name, but it was John Safran. We had an episode where a light exploded behind me midway through my opening monologue. Another episode where this entire sound desk decided, I don't care anymore, and stopped working. I'm midway through an interview with a guest, and the floor manager's just talking out loud to me instead of doing all the normal gestures we would do. And I'm trying to ignore them, thinking this is grossly unprofessional. Before they just went, no one can hear you. So I tried to get through the rest of the show, writing what I was thinking onto pieces of paper and holding them up on camera before mercifully going to a commercial break, which was really just for the racers, let's be honest. They're the only ones who had money. But that's how I learned what I wanted to do. And sure, there were times when, because of all of that, I was sitting there thinking, I really honestly and genuinely wonder if I got up and just walked off set right now, would anyone care? Is anyone actually watching this? And it was really important because I get the same feeling now hosting a show on Channel 10. It is tough out there, people. But more important than the skills, more important than finding out what my real calling was, it was the friendships. It was the relationships. It's people like Adam, who I'd known and really got to work with properly for the first time. Peter Hellier and I, as much as we had known each other, worked properly. Kim Hope as well. And even behind the scenes, some of my old team are here tonight. Amber Kane, who was my original producer when we started the show, the one who spotted me in the stand-up room, went on to become my producer at Channel 10. I went, this woman is too good to leave behind. I'm sorry, 31. And she's still one of my dearest friends. And I know a lot of you in the room today, you're not just contemporaries, you're also friends. You've just got these wonderful histories and these wonderful relationships. You've been in the trenches together, and that's something that you should really cherish and hold dear. Now, for all the jokes I make about people not watching, it turns out people were watching. And I went from, after 3 years hosting The Loft, I went from Channel 31 to the #1 network in the country, Channel 9, and when I went in for my first meeting, they said, so what do you want to do? And I said, I want to do what I'm doing on 31, but where more people can see it. Because I was so proud of the little show that we made. It was important to me that 31 wasn't seen as, well, that frivolous thing where people just kind of muck around, and it's all held together with sticky tape, but it doesn't really matter and it's not really that important. But it was, and it is. And I'd like to think that we proved that. With a bit of money, it helps, but still we were making the show that we wanted to make, and I learnt that from 31. So to all of you in the room, just follow your dreams. I'm so glad that you're all here. I'm so glad it's still happening. The news that we have a streaming service now, I think is incredible, because as part of the project, I'm pretty sure we've done 3 stories on the end of 31 in the last few years. And even coming here tonight to say I was being inducted to the Hall of Fame, people were like, 31, is that still a thing? So the fact that it's still out there, the fact that yes, there's TikTok, yes, there's YouTube, we all know that, but nothing teaches you what you need to know to be in this business like Channel 31. So to all of you that are out there, I've been talking to some of you, whether you're a 12-year-old Serbian comedian who's looking to do her own interview program, or a guy who is making an incredible doco series about the plight of fatherless African Australians in the Melbourne community. I applaud all of you. Keep trying to tell your stories. Keep trying to find your dream. Keep trying to find your passion, because 31 can make it possible. So thank you very much. This is an absolute honour, only equalled by how honoured I am to say I am 31 alumni. So thank you very much. And say hi to your mum for me.
Thank you very much. Thank you so much to Rove McManus. He is definitely an idol that inspired a whole generation of comedians, myself included. I remember back in primary school, Tuesday was my favourite day of the week because I'd have art class, then I'd watch Charmed, and then I'd watch Rove live. And I thought, hopefully, one day I can also host a show behind a desk. And that happened for me the last 2 years. I hosted a show on ABC, and then it got axed. And the minute it got axed, they took that desk to the dumpster. And my producer called me and said, the desk is in the dumpster. Also, it was full of mold. So that's what Channel 31 prepares you for, you know? So thank you so much, Rove. We have to keep things rolling because we do have to wrap up very soon, but we have another special guest joining us to help us do another Hall of Fame induction. So you will have heard of Stella if you've lived in Melbourne long enough. She was a comedian, journalist and disability rights activist who made a name for herself on C31's award-winning No Limits TV. And tonight she's being inducted into the CTV Hall of Fame, and we have someone special accepting the award on her behalf, an accomplished producer, director and filmmaker, Sarah Barton. So please welcome to the stage, Sarah.
Hey, and welcome to No Limits. We've got a fantastic show coming up for you tonight. After our great episode about women last week, we are sporting it up in the studio this time around.
I was always the one that went to the front because I was a little fella, and all these older guys who were like 30-year-olds always sat behind me and then sprinted me at the end.
Well, wasn't that fantastic, Stella?
Yeah, he's a bloody active guy.
Have you tried crocheting? Because I'm a bit of a crochet queen. I love crocheting.
No, I can't crochet, but I did just buy some books, the Stitch and Bitch Nation books, which is
Don't you love it?
my knitting club that I'm in is called Stitch and Bitch.
Which I believe you got pissed in just recently.
What's a bitch? Sunday we went out and had a few drinks, and all of a sudden the knitting was just had to be cast
I was going to say,
aside.
do you actually get anything finished?
Yeah, I finished 2 things on Sunday actually before the line.
Yeah.
But yeah,
It all became a
had to
blur.
sew in some ends and do all that stuff. But yeah, drinking and knitting, not such a good idea.
Fantastic.
In hindsight.
Almost a decade since Stella's life was cut dramatically short in December 2014. Stella had so many plans. She was on a huge trajectory for success, thanks in no small part to the training, the experience and the exposure that she got from being on C31 as a presenter on No Limits, the show that I was series producer, and Stella was the person I hunted around all over Victoria to find because I knew she was going to be a star. I firmly believe that she was actually on the way to global superstardom. She was a great comedy talent and a wonderful writer, but her physical presence in the room wherever she went made a big statement. They say you can't be what you can't see, and Stella Young really puts disability visibility on the map, certainly in Australia, but also around the world. Stella paved the way for some of the disability community's biggest success stories. Dylan Alcott, Hannah Gadsby, Madeline Stewart, to name a few. But there were also countless disabled kids who saw her beamed into their homes via community television and knew that they mattered and that they could also be someone just like Stella. Stella learned and practiced her craft on No Limits and then on several other C31 shows such as Dawn's Crack and Breakfast. She was witty and insightful, and we, her friends, family and colleagues, still miss her deeply. Stella Young absolutely deserves her place in the Community Television Hall of Fame. It's a great honour, and it proves that she remains relevant and beloved by so many of us. Those of us who knew her well and those who simply loved her from afar. Thank you for recognising our dear friend in this way. Thank you.
There was movement at the stations, for the word had passed around that Channel 31 had joined the fray. October 6 in '94, it launched with vivid sight and sound, as long as your antenna faced that way.
All the weird and wacky wannabes from basements near and far were suddenly emerging overnight. They came to tell their stories, what they love, share who they are, with exposure just a little bit too bright.
The airwaves now were open and the people had a voice, not hindered by ability or taste. From city, state and country, they offered us a choice, free from network TV's human waste.
It had a show for everyone. It catered on all fronts, diversity, variety for each. True story, I was noticed by a homeless person once who says our shows do not have any reach.
Kicked some goals with Marngrook footy, grew tomatoes with Vasily. Live on Bowen and the Loft Live were akin. Studio A, Salam Cafe, chart-busting 80s every day. 1,700 reasons you should sin. The planet's nerdy and a shambles.
Could you please provide examples?
Well, would 20-something reasons...
Would it kill you?
There's no limits to the minutes found in pit lanes parking tickets. Oh, Bazura Project.
I am not familiar.
That's fine.
We've had some great successes. Household names, they're off the chart. They're TV superstars, they shimmer bright. Oh, Channel 31, it gave them such a handy start. I'm sure they just had something on tonight.
Because the kids who started small became the stars who'd conquer all. Like, let's pick a name at random, I guess Rove.
Nazim Hussain.
Walid Ali.
Hamish Blake.
And Andy Lee.
Joe Stanley.
All the people that we loathe.
That's love. The life of Channel 31 has been a rocky road. The stays of execution never stop, but we'll keep on making content, and our ratings will explode as long as viewers don't download TikTok.
So whoever holds the power in our future, hear my plea. Here's the one campaign you cannot quit. Until it's all online, please just leave the spectrum be. No one needs more shopping channel shit.
But for all the ups and downs and all the stormy weather, no matter if in respite or aflame, there's just one thing that counts and that brings us all together, and all you need to know is in the name.
It's communities who watch it and communities who make it, the people who choose passion over glory. You find your voice, which finds your tribe. Big or small, just take it. You all have built a part of this great story.
We all do it because we mean it.
And we live it.
And we love it.
It's the fervour and the fight that gets it done.
So raise another glass in honour.
And the Logies can go shove it.
Happy birthday, Melbourne's Channel 31. Would you please welcome the next inductee to the CTV Hall of Fame from Vasily's Garden, Vasily.
Come on, just have a close look at that. Have you seen a bunch that big before?
You see the other ones? The other ones?
I see other ones everywhere. Don't worry, you're going to need a wheelbarrow for me, my dear.
Thank you. This is a true honour. Thank you, folks. Didn't expect it. Costa, by the way, we get confused so many bloody times. How can I say? They keep asking me, what happened to your beard? And they ask Costa, when did you grow your beard? So we have this, a little bit of a banter going on every time we see each other at a festival or so. Folks, listening to everybody presenting up here on stage just earlier on, and obviously the rest to come, has really opened up the memory bank. You know, as you get older, your memory starts to fade a little bit. You have inclinations of those little moments where, well, for me it does, of those experiences where you think, wow, that was in the past. Will it ever come back to you again and surface? And here we are today. And it's just reflecting back on the history. How did I get here? Because I was an engineer. I was a musician. I ended up growing tomatoes and going into people's backyards and eating their food, drinking their wine, getting wasted, making them dance and saying Maresi at the end. Just, you can't do that on any other network. You just can't. I tried that on 7 and they kept sending the footage back saying, no, fix that, we don't like that. And one frame out, we're talking about one frame in 24 frames or whatever it is today, it'd be out, and we're 120 kilometres away from the network and we had to drive back in and drop off a new export, whatever they call it. So, the breeding grounds. I opened up a garden centre in 92, 93, 94 in Coburg. After experiencing my first ever garden centre walk-in, I was given a job to renovate this place, design it, and that was my last job. I handed in my resignation after that because I fell in love with the concept of gardening, because I grew up in the garden, but never in the retail world. And 2 years after that, down the road from our store was a souvlaki place, very multicultural in Coburg. And the young lass came up to me one day and said, would you like to do a bit of radio? This is 3XY, if you remember back then. 3XY was, well, taken over by the Greek community, Stimulus, who, if I'm not mistaken, helped 31 through the hard times in the early years. And in return, they had some airtime to fill. So they said, would you want to do a TV show? I said, I have no idea what sort of show you want me to do. They said gardening. I said, well, I've only just started gardening. I really don't know much about it. And anyway, we got out there, I came into the network. I met a guy by the name Peter Desky, who was an old rocker, still is. I think he only just bought a camera back then. Didn't even know which way to turn it on or turn it off. And I was given a mic thinking, well, lucky I had some experience in music and all that. So we ventured out to my dad's backyard as my first episode. And he looked at me and he goes, my father that is, and goes, you really want to do this with me? I mean, I can embarrass you in the camera. I said, well, we can edit it out. We can do whatever we want. And it just ventured on from there. We went from garden to people's backyards and just ventured in enjoying the exploration of multiculturalism in Victoria, Melbourne, where I've grown up. And I have never looked back. Moving on years ahead, here I am now with our own, I suppose, business in running gardens across the states. And if it wasn't for 31, this opportunity would not have existed for me. And the likes of Shane, Matthew, Greg, all the others there, the old school boys and girls that we worked through and learned together as we developed what it is today, a community network that we should all embrace and pass on to the next generations, and so on and so on. So thank you very much for this wonderful opportunity, folks, and thank you for this amazing award. I really cherish it. Thank you.
They need no introduction. These two people are your general managers of Channel 31 and Channel 44. Lauren has flown over, as she usually does for these celebrations, from Adelaide. So please give it up for Shane Dunlop and Lauren Hillman.
Thank you all for coming. It's really an honour to be playing a small part in what is a really long history. Just reflecting a little bit on the journey over the last little while as we've been planning for this event. Really, tonight is an impossible milestone that we've reached. And I realise that it's because of everybody here in the room and all the thousands of people who've been involved over the journey that we've made an impossible thing a possibility. So I'd like to thank all of you here for coming, and everybody who's not here that has played a part. I just want to let those people know that I've acknowledged you and I really respect the contribution over the years. We're not here to talk about necessarily the past.
We're here to talk about the future. And I also just want to say that not all the famous talent have come out of Melbourne. I mean, we have Channel 7 Sunrise Sam Mack. Yes, thank you. Back in the day, Sam Mack did a show in Adelaide called Sam Mack's Single Bed. Now, that wasn't broadcast over here, but we've got the tapes, and we might have to roll it out sometime. We might have to put it on CTV+. But speaking of CTV+, this is a really exciting time. It's a new generation, a new era for community TV. We both never thought that we would be standing here, the two remaining community TV stations in Australia, but we are, and that is thanks to the federal government. And thank you very much to Sophie Cowald, who's here tonight representing Minister Rowland. What is really exciting is that in the future, not only are you going to see CTV+ on your phone, but you're going to see it on a smart TV app. So when you turn on your TVs, hopefully next to iView and SBS On Demand, there will be CTV+. You'll get to see... That's what we're committed to working on the government with. They're committed to. We're really proud of that. And yes, we can't thank all of you enough for coming on this incredible journey with us and into the future. And finally, I just want to say, tonight would not have happened without this man standing next to me. Honestly, congratulations, Shane, on all of your achievements, and to Matt Field and all the general managers that are here, but yes, especially to you. This is such a great celebration. I'm honoured to be here from Adelaide, and thank you.
Thanks, Lauren. So just to wrap it up, we're in development at the moment with CTV+, obviously for smart TVs. That's going to be for Android televisions, for the Samsung iOS, and also for the Apple iOS platforms. So keep your eyes peeled for that. Of course, get behind it if you can, and of course many of you in the room here already have your shows already on the platform, and so it's just another way that your program will be able to be seen by people all over the country, not just here in Melbourne. So that's it for us. We'll let the party go on, and thanks again for coming.
And well done, Annie. You're doing an amazing job.
Thank you, Shane and Lauren. Shane does do so much for the station, and he doesn't want to be the centre of attention for too long, but I was quite surprised that when I'm watching the shows and I hear a voiceover, sometimes Shane will be like, that's me too, that was also me, I'm just putting on different voices. So this man really holds up the station, so can we please give him a big round of applause? We're very close to the end now, and we've got some clips to play from some special guests who couldn't join us tonight. They're alumni of the show. You might recognise them on programs on Channel 10, for example, Georgie Coughlin and Waleed Ali. So thank you to them for sending this through.
Hello everyone at Channel 31. It's Georgie Coughlin here. I thought I'd give you a grassroots video reflecting on the 30th broadcast anniversary of Channel 31, because it is the grassroots of my career and the grassroots of incredible television that I'm so grateful to be a part of. I have so many fond memories of my time at Channel 31. We did C News with the legendary Phil Chubb, and everything I brought into commercial television in terms of my career, I learned at Channel 31. I have just such wonderful memories there. The fish tank, of course, the collaboration, the sense of community. It just taught me so much, and it gave me so much for what I took on to very luckily have a wonderful career in commercial TV. But I'll never, ever forget my beginning at Channel 31 and just how much fun I had. So thank you, Channel 31, for everything that you've done for people like me and what you continue to do to support the broadcast industry, because it is so important that we have a supportive, nurturing environment for our up-and-coming young people that want, or old people, that want to go into this exciting and super evolving business. So celebrating with you, and thank you again for everything that you've given me.
I just want to say a huge hello to everyone in the room, Channel 31 alumni, people who are currently still involved with the network, celebrating 30 years of community TV. Waleed Ali here, and I'm part of that alumni and really proud to be. And I was just thinking about a time when I was sitting on the desk at the project, and there were 4 of us there, obviously, and we're all talking, and every single person at that desk had been on community TV. That's where they started. It was the pathway for everyone, and it means a lot to all of them, I know that, and it means a hell of a lot to me. Salam Cafe, which is the show that we did there, was a wild ride. Winning the Antenna Award is still something that I remember as a great thrill, and it was just so great to be put on TV when no one else would possibly put you on TV. And then we end up at SBS, and then a whole lot of stuff flows from there. Come a long way. I remember one episode where we filmed it. It was great. We thought it was going to be one of the best we put out, and then we discovered that our producer had forgotten to hit the record button. We made that mistake once, exactly. And that's what's so great about community TV, is you get to learn those sorts of things. So I want to say thank you to everyone. I want you all to celebrate really hard, because what you're celebrating is really great. Here's to another 30 years, if indeed TV lasts that long. And we'll see you at the next gala, shall we?
I have another special award / inductee into the Hall of Fame now. No one is here to accept it, so I'm just gonna hold it and pose. But it's hard to believe that this show, Fish Cam, wasn't already on the Hall of Fame. But this program has entertained so many people who are watching TV late at night, probably had the munchies due to reasons we can't talk about on community TV. But it had a cult following, and sometimes when the broadcast was live in the real fish tank, a fish would pass away and it would just float up till the morning undiscovered. And I talked to Shane about it this morning, and he said that the original, the very first fish tank ever, was located inside RMI TV. So I would now like to share a clip in honour of some of those who contributed to Fishcam and are no longer with us. All of those fish were flushed down the toilet at RMI TV. So thank you very much. I accept this on behalf of Fishcam, and we'll hang this in the office at C31. So round of applause, everybody. Now, I have the pleasure of introducing some of the last people to present on stage tonight. We have one of the newest community TV personalities who has crossed over to commercial TV, and we also have someone you might recognise, one of the most popular doctors, probably the most popular doctor on Channel 31, Dr. Nalu. Joining her is Fruit Nerd. You know him, you love him. You might have seen his tips on social media. It's Tan Fruit Nerd Trong.
How do we top fish cam, Nelly? So, Nelly, there's been amazing alumni, and we've talked about the last 30 years. Now, you've produced a show in the last couple of years, 2021 and 2023. Tell me a little bit how, in a world of misinformation and Google Doctor, how the Channel 31 team has helped you communicate your message of health.
Yeah, look, I think I need to go back to when it all started, to be honest. 2011, I was an intern at a hospital in Melbourne, and they were filming an RPA-type episode, and I just really wanted to get in front of the camera and say, guys, you've got to immunise your children. You've got to do this. And I had this idea that I just wanted to talk to families about health. I don't know how to do it. I'm not creative. I'm not funny.
You are funny.
And I met Karen Dennerly, and she's here tonight. And we made a few little clips. We chatted to a few kids and made some cute little videos. But, I ended up losing a baby, and then I couldn't really continue with that. So then a few years later, Karen contacted me and said, I'm working at Channel 31, and we're about to apply for some grants. What do you think about making your idea a TV show? And then so she spoke to Shane, and I sat down and met with Shane, and then it happened.
Amazing.
Kids Health with Dr. Nalu happened. Yeah, and I guess, the thing about Channel 31, as everyone has said here today, is just giving you that opportunity to work as a team, that diversity and inclusivity. And, I don't want my 3 young girls growing up watching Love Island. I'd rather them watch Field to Feast.
Thank you.
But they can't anymore on Channel 31 because it's just been bought by SBS, ABC International, and Food Network Asia. So,
thank you. Yeah, look, if the show is a flop, don't worry, it's already been sold. It has not even aired yet, but I just really wanted to thank everybody involved, everybody here today, because the future is bright. It's not just about what has happened in the past. We still have such great opportunity to produce the kind of quality content that would make Australians proud. All right. I think we'll end with that.
Have a great night.
Thank you so much, Tan and Dr. Nalu. Tan's story is very close to my heart because when I first met him, a friend saw him on Plate of Origin, Channel 7, and she said, you need to meet this man. And so I interviewed him on community radio, and we got along so well. And the thing about C31 is it closes that gap between your reality and where you want to be, your vision. And Tan said, I want to have a TV show. I want to be taken seriously by commercial networks. And I was like, I know the guy. And I CC'd him and Shane in an email, and now he's here. And I just feel like a little matchmaker, just a little piece of the puzzle. But congratulations, Tan, you made it.
No one's getting paid 31, but we'll sometimes get you laid 31. If you find it on the dial 31, your IQ's very high. Tune in to your revolution. Fill up your heart and concentration. 31 might be watched by very few. 31, but those who do are in the news. Now wind up the channel and do right in. Fill up your heart and feel it descend. 31, 31, children, 31, so, 31, 31, he's coming at you now, 31, like Batman and Kapow, 31, you find it on the dial, 31, your IQ's very high. I search it up, check up the dial, liquid chicken number 1 in the style. 31, you'll be getting real 31, like jalapeno veal. The rhythms and the revolution, tune up the upper television.
31, right back at you. Yeah.
We have one final thing to present before we let you head off to enjoy the rest of your night. I'd like to welcome 2 people who are part of a very long-running show called The Local Footy Show, which has been on air for 28 years. The program was inducted last year into the Hall of Fame at the Antennas, so please join me in welcoming our final two guests on stage. It's Daryl Pittman and Ian Benny Bennett.
Thank you very much, Annie. Very much appreciated. And, well, it's a great honour to welcome some new inductees into our Legends Club. For 28 years, we've moved amongst the communities of Victoria with my good mate, Ian Benny Bennett, and it's been a great journey.
Yeah. It really has been a fantastic journey, and to be up here last year to receive one of these Legend Awards, I was quite chuffed, and I really feel really good for the people that have received these awards this year. So it's a sensational night. We've had a ball doing what we do on the local footy show, and I'm so pleased so many others enjoy what they do and are able to express it.
I was just nodding my head when our chairman, Mike Zafiropoulos, was talking about the challenges that the family community of Channel 31 have had to overcome in those 30 years. We've overcome those challenges. It's brought us all closer together, and it's a great pleasure to be a part of the Channel 31 family community. And just before we bring our new inductees up, I'd just like to ask you, Benny, what has been the highlight for you for those 28 years?
I think it's getting into the country and meeting so many different and diverse people involved in local footy, and to be able to put them on the television for them to enjoy and see their little community highlighted. So I'd like to just say to our esteemed parliamentary representatives in attendance tonight that Channel 31 provides an absolutely unique service, and that service shouldn't end at the outskirts of Melbourne. It should go to those country areas as well, because I tell you what, our country friends and those people in the rural regions would love to watch Channel 31 on free-to-air television. So I hope one day that can happen. So I'd like to introduce our new inductees, Mark Fletcher.
Thank you.
Nimel Elvis.
And the Student Youth Network, SYN. Or is that SYN? Congratulations, Mark. Want to go first, mate?
Thanks very much, guys. Appreciate it. Great audience here tonight. Thank you, everybody, for turning up. It's an honour and a privilege to be here tonight, ladies and gentlemen. And it's interesting because 30th anniversary or 30th year of Channel 31. It also happens to be my 30th year of self-employment to try and chase my goal into this industry. So in 1994, I commenced to chase my goal, but tonight's not about me, it's about Channel 31. But what comes with that, the trials and tribulations, the roller coaster ride, it's hard slog. And to get where we are today, it is a massive task. It's a reflection on the professionality, the professionalism, the people that make up these networks such as Channel 31. So first of all, on behalf of 31, Shane Dunlop, a wonderful team, a very happy birthday for 30 years. Well done. I'll make it nice and brief. I just want to say how honoured I am. Classic Restos is the TV show. It says Fletch on here, but not Classic Restos, so I thought I'd better tell you it's Classic Restos. And I'm proud to say that from 1994 to 2007 is how long it took of trying to chase the goal before this network, TVS in Sydney, and then about a week later, Channel 31 in Melbourne, wanted Classic Restos. They've believed in me from day one, and that is very, very special. Of course, I'd like to thank my editor, one of my best mates as well, 30 years in television, Danny Mitrovic, for editing Classic Restos every week. My partner, Donna, who puts up with me and travels with me everywhere, responsible for the still photography. And at this stage of the game now, Classic Restos is approaching its 57th series. It's been a continual production since 2007, and I'm just about to approach 780 episodes, which I'm very proud of. So I just want to say, it's not about ego, it's not about skiding, it's about inspiration. And a lot of people have said a lot of things up here tonight, and I could talk to you guys for ages, but it's about chasing your goals, believing in yourself, and just keep on being determined. So I'll end on that one. Thank you very much, ladies and gentlemen, for listening to me and for accepting this award tonight. Thank you.
I'm really honored to have this award. I think I've been with the Channel 31 over 25 years. I've been working, looking forward to working with another 30 or more years. Thank you for my amazing team, and especially thanks for Channel 31, Sean, too. Thank you.
Okay, hi. I guess to keep it short, as the, what's the word? Representatives of SYN, we'd just like to say that we really appreciate this award. Thank you.
Thank you very much, everyone. You know how to fill the silence. Wonderful television crowd. So that brings us to the end of the night. We invite you to stick around and have a drink. I know it took a bit longer than expected. It's getting longer than the Logie, so we need to wrap this thing up, okay? But you were fantastic. We appreciate your time. Please get another photo at the media wall, grab a t-shirt, or donate via the QR code that appears on the screen. I've been Annie Louie. Thank you so much for joining us, and I'll see you next year or in 30 years. Goodbye.
I love these sorts of events because they give you an opportunity to reflect on your career. I realised that I was with Channel 31 15 years ago, and since then I've done a lot of television and, you know, really did start at Channel 31. I'm currently the executive producer of Triple M Breakfast, which is just wild that that's a thing. Last year my first ever feature film came out, and it's a really nice event because it did give me that opportunity to stop and pause and go, wow, I'm so glad that, you know, Channel 31 saw what I hoped was there, which was a future in this incredible arts industry.
So, my name is Bo Mayen. I was lucky enough to be on Channel 31 last year, and I ran a show called The Seed Network, and it was a talk show, and I got the chance to sit down with many incredible people that were doing amazing work in the community. And yeah, glad to be here. I'm very glad and surprising that it's been 30 years, and I'm glad to be part of it.
My name is Paul Verhoeven. I host overnights on the ABC and I write for The Guardian and Rolling Stone Australia. I got my start on Channel 31 on a sort of quasi-nerdy variety show called Planet Nerd, and actually someone reviewed it positively in The Age, which got me a gig at Triple J, which like kicked off my entire career. So it's really nice to be here surrounded by the people who started this whole thing and sort of say thank you, you know? Although I don't know why he didn't wait for 31 years. That feels like a missed opportunity.
How was tonight for you?
Oh, now I'm being interviewed.
Yeah.
It was great. It was a little long, but I knew that there was no way when the running order said speech for 1 minute. No one's going to make a 1 minute speech.
No. I think I had 4 minutes on paper, which was very generous.
Your award.
Oh, what? Feels good. It's got felt on the back. I got a lovely little cardboard box that I can put it in
that's
for
valuable
safe
stuff.
package travel. But I prefer to keep it outside the box, so when it has to go through the airport security, they'll go, oh, what's this large thing that looks possibly dangerous? And I have to take it out and go, you mean my Hall of Fame award? Blush. It's so much easier to be arrogant when you can just walk around with this. Like if I had to otherwise just be mingling tonight with a drink, just going, oh, so who was in the Hall of Fame?
I wasn't going to talk to you until I saw that.
Was that in the Hall? Oh, what's that, sir? Legend? Guess that means I'm old. Oh, mate.
If you want to be in the audience for Under Melbourne tonight next week, you must get in here before 9 o'clock.
Yes.
Before 9 o'clock. Okay.
Because they close the doors and they turn on the electric fence.
I know that's not funny.
Oh, sorry.
It's just scary.
Okay.
Sorry.
Is that about it?
We're finished.
We are finished. We'll never work in this town again. It's time to finish the show now. We'll see you later. Bye-bye.
We would like to thank the official sponsors of 30 years of Channel 31, Verducci Lawyers, Pipeworks Market, Carter's Roofing, MJ Disability Permit Holders, and Suzuki Marine.